And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put on Giants podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean, beautiful day out here in Southern California. POR. SBR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. San Francisco Giants, one game under 500. Have not connected with my Giants fans for a while now. Just been one thing. It's first year doing the show, and I realized that when you're doing a football show and you're doing a baseball show, that any football news or noise kind of drowns out everything else. It's kind of tough to do, but we'll get back on track this year. As far as just getting stuff for the Giants here, going on for you. So the Giants. So obviously, that huge losing streak, that huge just not being able to win not being able to win at home, getting swept by, the Pirates and teams like that, kind of put them in a huge hole. And now they're digging themselves back out of that hole and they're playing better baseball. And I think the hardest thing, if you're Buster Posey, is how do you even understand how to deal with that? Like how does that, you know, come into play when you look at what the Giants um are going forward in 2026? Like how? They're one game under. They're the 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're scoring a bunch of runs now all of a sudden. Like, so how do you actually quantify that? And I think Buster Posey just recently, when it was asked about, hey, what do you think about Bob Melvin's future? He sidestepped the question. And I think that's something where, like, this team, should have been, if they were just decent, and I'll say if they were just decent, they don't gotta be superstars as a team, but they were just decent during that stretch of time. Like, baseball is about not being able to go completely under the tank when you're not playing well, because at some point you were all, even the Dodgers, even some of these big time teams, all go through these periods of time where they don't play well. So how do you navigate through that season, that time period? And that's what the Giants couldn't do. That's what Bob Melvin couldn't do. You're paying all these players a whole lot of money. The core seems like it's a talented core. You got to find a way to get this team together and see what holes they have to come back the following season and compete for a wild card, if not a division championship. I mean, that's what they got to do. And the Diamondbacks lost pretty much everybody, and the Diamondbacks are only a game behind the Giants. The Padres are right there with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are obviously the cream of the crop in the division, as painful as it is. And they just have to get, I mean, they have to get to the point where they just score more runs consistently. And I think that the approach, I mean, yeah, they're scoring runs now. We'll see what happens there. We'll see if people like Drew Gilbert are for real. Matos has come back and hit the ball, a ton, hitting bombs left and right, looking like that young player that everybody was, so much so highly touted that, we love Matos. Matos can play the outfield. But Matos dropped a fly ball yesterday in the outfield. He's not. I mean, he's just what you get, the little bonehead plays you get from Ramos, you get from Matos, are just ridiculous. Just in today's game with the Rockies, he hits a fly ball to right field. The right fielder, the ball gets caught up in the sun. He can't see it. He drops it. He goes to second like he should, and then he slides off the base, and then and then it gets tagged out. Like another bonehead play by Ramos, right? Matos yesterday in the sun. I mean, just couldn't find the ball. Like, you're playing the outfield in San Francisco, and you've been playing there in the outfield in San Francisco for years. Like, I mean, we should be able to have that kind of home field advantage where our guys shouldn't be dropping fly balls in the outfield. Now, the game in that point was 13-2, so it didn't end up mattering in that moment. But that's not what big time football. I mean, the big time baseball teams do. You have a little bit of a stretcher in there, but they've been consistently making errors left and right. And what do you do in the offseason with this team? They're hopefully they finish strong. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to finish strong enough to have Melvin be able to keep his job. I don't think he should keep his job. I think this team is a little bit more talented than they were. If they didn't make the playoffs, fine. But if you look at the wild card standings, um, at the very least, they should have been. I think with the talent they have on the team before they end up selling parts off, you know, and if even right now they're only 5 games behind the Mets. Like that's what's frustrating. Like if they were just decent, they'd be tied with the Mets right now. You know, the Reds are 2 games ahead of the Giants there as far as that goes. Giants Rockies are off to my right playing right now. So if you see me glancing over, that's what I'm glancing over at. But that's what it is, and you kind of feel like it's going to be another 81 win, 82 win season, and then you're sitting here wondering what the hell is next for the Giants next year. So obviously some pitching. Pitching is going to be paramount again. They let go of some guys. I can see if both Rogers brothers um are free agents, so I can kind of see maybe those guys come back. We'll see, but on the good side, I think the great teammate that that Willie Adames has been for this team has been fun to watch. Um, and then obviously Devers it has 29 home runs now. He's going to hit 30 home runs. They probably won't count that um, as a as the 30 home run thing. But I will count it as the stretch of home runs is broken for the Giants because Devers hit enough home runs in my mind for the Giants. He came over here early enough and he hit enough home runs for the Giants where I can just say he hit 30 home runs. So yeah, 5 home runs away. Damas is five home runs away from from getting 30. And in a down year, he hit 25. So, obviously with him, those long stretches of like strikeout is going to be something. It's going to be something that's really tough to really watch and deal with. But for the most part, I think this team, with the right philosophy, with the right, head, almost a head coach, manager, I think this is a team here where they could really, you know, be better next year. Just got to be better because you're paying a lot of people a whole lot of money. You got Bryce Eldridge coming up. Hopefully, Bryce Eldridge can be that guy for the Giants. I know they're hoping for that as well. Jung Hoo Lee is one of the leaders in doubles. Like he's a guy who's definitely come on for the Giants as well. So that's been fun to watch. Um, after his big slump, and he's done a good job of hitting the ball the other way. That was a big thing for him, just hitting the ball the other way. He had his first walk off the other day as well. So yes, so things are things are things are getting better, I guess, but it's been disappointing because we all knew where they would. We all know that they were 13, 14 games over 500, and now they're 1 game under. And you have to really go in the can to be 1 game under as far as that goes. Um, what to do with Matos? It's hard for me. As much as a pain in the neck as Matos. I mean, not sorry. Ramos is. Um, it's gonna be hard to get rid of him because this is a guy who leads your team in hits. He literally leads your team in hits. So how do you just get rid of a guy who leads your team in hits? Like how do you just move on from that guy? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I just think I just don't know how much. How do you deal with him in the outfield? He's been very very iffy in the outfield. I mean, when the ball's hit there, you just close your eye as a fan. And you wonder if he's really seriously playing baseball sometimes. That's the way he plays the game sometimes. So we'll see. We'll see what they do as far as that goes. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna move him. but he probably the way his situation is with contractually, that would be the one guy who you would think about moving to get some pieces back. But if you do, you got to get a piece back because he is, like I said, he is the guy who leads your team in hits, and that is huge. He's on the base, so he's on base all the time. So can he run the bases great? No, but he's on the bases all the time. So we'll see that. So the Giants have a chance to get as the helicopters kind of fly over. The Giants have a chance to get even more, to kind of continue this fantasy run, if you will. To catch the Mets, they play the 3 against the Rockies, and they play 3 against the Cardinals. Both teams who are out of it. The Giants usually play well in Colorado, so we'll see about that if they can grab a sweep and continue their winning ways. I just want to hop on here and talk a little Giants. We'll kind of get more in depth with the Giants as we get more of a schedule for the podcast. All right.
Lee hits a high drive to right. It is out of here.